We're talking about nannies this morning. Whether you're looking to hire a nanny for the summer or the upcoming school year, Dara Green from Seaside Nannies is here to talk about some very important things that you need to know before you hire one. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
This is an issue that affects a lot of people, especially with young babies. Nannies are wonderful to have if you can't stay at home because it's that one-on-one contact. But it is unnerving for parents to hire a nanny. You have some tips for us.
Absolutely, I do. First of all, you want your nanny to have at least 2 to 3 years of experience. If in fact you have a newborn in the house, you want your potential nanny candidate to have at least 2 to 3 years of infant experience as well.
Why is that?
And it's very important because being with an infant is very different than being with a toddler or an 8-year-old for that matter.
Right. The needs are a little bit different.
Completely different. Bathing's different. You know, everything from waking and feeding and changing, and it's constant.
You have to have the demeanor for babies.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of,
you have to have a lot of patience.
A lot of work. So ask, have you nannied babies before? Good question.
Yes.
And for how long?
Absolutely.
Also, you say you want to make sure they have a current driver's license. Why is that so critical?
It's very important, especially if your children are older and your nanny will be driving your children to and from soccer practice or ballet class. That's very important.
All right. And also CPR and first aid.
Imperative. You never know when an emergency might surface, and renewal for those 2 certifications are every 2 years, and it's very important that the potential nanny candidate is current on those.
So do I need to see paperwork? Should I ask for paperwork?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
You want to definitely check out your nanny as best as you can.
And also you say there is a service that's really important. Well, let's get to this first. 3 to 6 years of references.
3 to 6 excellent references in the field of child care. It's very important just because you want to make sure that you know, it's the minimal amount of confirmation in regards to a potential nanny candidate.
Any particular questions if I'm calling and I'm checking up on someone that's coming in, I'm interviewing, any questions that you might suggest I ask those references?
You want to know if the children were happy. You want to make sure that they were on time, that they were responsible, that there was no accidents of any kind. Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Definitely.
And lastly, there are a couple of new resources that you want to check, and it may be uncomfortable to ask these questions, but you say you have to.
You have to. You're leaving your children with strangers, absolutely.
And there's something called Trustline. Talk about that. What is that?
Trustline is we're very lucky in California to have this resource. It is the Department of Social Services background criminal investigation report, and basically what it is, it's done through a live scan fingerprint, which will go into the Trustline registry, and it's checked through the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the Community Care Licensing System.
And if they're not in California, if they're out of state, you say do a criminal background check.
Yes,
So do you ask them to actually, they go down and give the fingerprint?
Absolutely.
And if somebody says, I'm not willing to do this, then what do you say?
They're not willing to be hired as a nanny.
Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes nannies can be costly, but when you're looking for quality of care, you say, you know, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, a lot of times, absolutely. But, you know, again, it can be done pretty inexpensively if you're doing it yourself, but you want to make sure you've got the right person in your household, and sometimes that does cost a little extra.
Okay, there's some information on the screen. It is seasidenannies.com, and Dara Green, we appreciate your coming in this morning and educating us on this process.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
It's really critical.